What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Tobacco Chat. I'm your host, Vinny Roberts, and I'm coming to you live from the highway because I'm doing it my way. That's the fly way. But anyway, I'm here to talk to you today about living above your means. So I'm going to tell you a little story about this gentleman that I worked with once. He made about $50,000 a year, and he was young. He was 22 years old, and he went out and bought himself a brand new Lexus. His monthly car payment was in the $500 range. At the time, he was living with his girlfriend and his mother, so he had the money to blow. So he said, hey, I'm going to go out and buy me this dope-ass Lexus, as he used to call it. So, about 2 or 3 years later, he gets into a car accident, totals his car. Luckily for him, the insurance company was going to pay to cover the cost of his vehicle. However, all those payments that he made to the car in those 3 years were basically gone. So he was upside down on the value of the vehicle, so he owed more than what it was worth. The insurance company paid it off for him, and he started back at zero. So he started car shopping, saying, hey, I'm going to get me a new Lexus. I'm going to get me, something better this time. And I had to stop him in his tracks and say, hey, look, man, what are you doing about your living situation? So he said, I'm looking to buy a house. I said, well, how much have you saved up? He says, well, I haven't really saved up much, but I'm going to start saving up. I said, well, why haven't you saved up that much? Well, I have this $500 a month car payment. The light bulb went off in his head, and he said, oh, man, I'm not going to be able to save up if I buy another Lexus, am I? I said, of course not. What makes you think, if you haven't been able to afford money to save in the last 3 years, that you're going to be able to afford money to save in the next 3? So he actually took my advice, and instead of going out and buying a new Lexus, he went out and bought a Honda, a beautiful Honda, by the way, a nice looking Honda. So in my opinion, he was still driving a dope ass car, but this time it was a dope-ass Honda instead of a dope-ass Lexus. But his street credibility remained equal, if you know what I mean, if that even matters to you. So now he's in a situation where he's, fast forward maybe 2 years, because now it's been a little while. He's now buying his first house. So I'm really proud of him, and I'm really proud that he listened to some of my advice. It's all on him. He did the hard work. He saved up the money. He's putting that down payment on his house now, and he deserves a lot of credit for making the right choices in life. So this lesson goes out to everybody who thinks that it's important to drive around in $50,000 cars and wear $1,000 clothes. Ask yourself, are you living for today, or are you living for your future? If you're living for today, that's fine. Just don't expect to be putting down payment on houses anytime soon. But if you're living for your future, then I look forward to see what you can do with the money you saved up instead of buying fancy things. It's good to have nice things. By all means, it's good to have nice things, but we don't need to live extravagance. Extravagance is excessive, and excessive is expensive, and expensive is going to the broke house. Anyway, you got my drift. It was nice chatting with y'all. I'll see you next week. Vinny Roberts. Peace.